Hello, let's make a painting and we're gonna see what we gonna do today. Alright, water on the glass. Excuse me. Alrighty, so one big splash in the middle. Take the brush and let's see. I'm not sure exactly what it's gonna be as always, but we're gonna find out. Water, blue, straight on the paper, straight on the brush and directly on the paper. Let's go. More water. One dot and one kind of line. Okay, so maybe tree, no. Let's search a little bit. Moving around. Well, the thing is I don't want to go too wild. I like the shapes on the top. I'm gonna make a bunch of lines and just touch it here and there. And it looks like it's gonna be some kind of left to right diagonal. Alright, just moving on the left. Okay. I will use only blue for now. We'll be more cautious about that. It's very blank. Usually the paper got something in mind and the painting will start develop itself, but right now the thing is, let's see. Let's keep it with the blue. Let's get lighter blue and go for the sky. Let's look like, maybe we should use only blue. I don't know. We'll see about that. A little bit more blue. Excuse me. All right, and I will play with that and just pretty much clearing my, I'm not sure, is that a trees? Because it's kind of a blooming of a big tree in the middle, or maybe it should be some kind of a rocks. It's very interesting because I'm making the painting, but at the same time, I feel like the painting doing whatever she wants. Always fascinating thing. Actually, I started maybe 2 years ago. I was writing down a book just because a friend of mine told me that if you create a character, it will start doing whatever the character wants. Which was interesting because you're writing down the story. And I feel like the same way with the paintings, the painting gonna be whatever she wanna be, and you just try to do the best of it. So at this point, I'm not sure what she wanna be. Did she wanna be a rocky? Maybe a trees, but that doesn't look like a trees. This big splash in the middle doesn't look like a trees at all. I guess I can force it to be a tree, but I don't want to force anything. Maybe the smaller brush. Let's go with yellow. Let's break the monotonous of blue and let's do something more. I'm gonna take some of the yellow, and of course this is Nepal yellow, but I'm simplifying everything. I think we live in a way busy world. Everything is way too complicated. You know, yellow. I have like 3 yellows. They're all yellow. I guess it's a sunny day. I will put some reflection. And I feel like this is way too strong. I will try to put a little bit more water so I can blend it around. And you can see I'm pretty cautious at this point because I'm still not sure what exactly it's gonna be. Is that water? No, it's like a rocks. I think it's gonna be rocks. Some kind of stones on a... No, it's not just individual stones. It's like a big rocky thing. And it's gonna be a reflection. It's kind of a gold. Not much of vegetation on the top of it. No plants. Maybe later I should put some, we will see about that. Maybe some grass. I like to do grass. Let's keep going with the yellow. So now we're gonna have a black, well, not black, but dark blue lines, and that's gonna be complementing our gold lines. So we can have a nice perspective. Now the thing is the horizon. What are we gonna do with the horizon? I'm wondering. Alright, brush is not gonna do for me, so let's go back to the trusty palette knife, and let's push up and down. Let's move it around the paint. Maybe she will, or maybe we should just follow whatever is on the foreground. Mountains, maybe? I will keep pushing around. It's too watery. Let's see. Up, down. Yeah, I will keep moving around and maybe something will come up. But I think it's mountains gonna be that's gonna be the way to do it. Let's see. I will take a clear brush and remove some of the paint. It's way too watery there. And now I'm not gonna just remove the paint. I'm gonna try to make it some kind of texture, or some kind of shape when I remove the paint. I don't wanna like remove it everywhere. All right, so it's looks like decided on the horizon is gonna be mountains. On the foreground is gonna be some kind of rocky area with the gold reflection from the sun. Remove a little bit more of the paint. Let's see. Oh, maybe some sharp edges in the midground. I'm gonna try to make the transition. It looks like the reflection from the light is gonna show up the edges and the texture of the rocks on the midground and foreground, and that's gonna help me with transitioning from the horizon line, which one's not a horizon line, but from the horizon in the mountains over there to the midground and the foreground. So that's gonna unite everything. As you can see here, I'm like moving around the brush and just making some hard edges on these rocks on the left side. It looks like it's got a lot of potential to emphasize a little bit more with the contrast, the whole thing. But for now, I'm gonna make some kind of very nice blue purplish. And because I cannot make the mountains any more white than this, I'm gonna make everything in the sky darker. By doing this, I will draw the background. I will paint the background so I can show up the mountains. Of course, I'm gonna use purple, blue, maybe a little bit darker because this is more vibrant, man. And I'm just gonna make some pushes up, and I'm not gonna blend it. I'm not gonna force anything. I'm gonna let everything blend itself with the time. A little bit more black. It's still on a vibrant, very saturated, so I'm gonna put it down a little bit. So let's do this. That's much better now. That's gonna give us nice contrast. So we're gonna have some kind of a light sky, and then the sky is turning dark, and then we have a light, very light mountains, and then we have a dark side of the mountains, and then we're gonna have a light going through every sharp edge of the midground and foreground, and we have a dark to contrast that, plus the gold reflection from the sun. And again, doesn't look like it's blending at all, but I will let it stay there and let the painting do her things. All right, good enough. Now, let's see. And this is going to be our first layer. I think we're ready to put a little bit more details. So in that case, it's gonna be. I'm wondering if I put some kind of maybe dark on the left side. So the light obviously is coming from the right side, because this is where the reflection from gold and on the midground and the foreground. So the sky, the light is coming from the right side, and the mountains is going to be lighter on the right side, and maybe I should put some kind of dark left side. I think that's what's gonna be. All right, let's do that. I'm gonna take the thin brush and a black gouache. I was thinking to make it like a black paint, but it's not gonna work well. So I'm gonna take a black gouache because it's more easy to control it and doesn't blend that much. Also, it's not that transparent. So I'm gonna, excuse me. So I'm gonna take the black gouache and start making some lines, something to reflect the light part of the mountains. And as we established, it's gonna be on the left side, the black spots. And that's also gonna calm down everything a little bit more. But by this, I'm gonna separate the horizon from the midground. Now, of course, it looks harsh right now, but later we're gonna fix that. Connect the both mountains. I don't make that often mountains. They're kind of a. I feel like that you force them a little bit more on the painting, because most of the time when everything is blending, it's look like more like some kind of plants or something. Rarely something will look like a hard, sharp edges. All right. Try to shape the mountains a little bit more edgy, because the left one start to look more like sharp and robust from the wind and weather. The right one is look more oval, like it's got some kind of a snow hat or something. So I'm gonna take a clear brush and start making more sharp. I'm gonna remove some of the paint, and by doing this I want to make it a little bit sharper. And I'm going down and make this sharp edge from top to midground, and this is the turning point where the light doesn't go, so everything is dark on the back. All right, so now let's remove that silly oval shape. Let's put pointy thing. Let's be pointy. It's like the movie, with the rocket and pointy stuff. It's look more magnificent. It's no fine, but I want something more dramatic than snow. Is more romantic and it's more magical. I want something more edgy, more emotional. All right, so just like I did on the right one, I'm going to do the same thing on the left one. Just erase a little bit down so we can have this edge from the top of it going down. Still kind of oval. All right, I think this is it. There we go. I feel like the sky start blending well too well, so I think I'm gonna have to do it again. All right, here's the tricky part. On the light side of the mountains, I'm gonna make it even lighter, and some places it's gonna stay darker. So, I mean, it's still got some shadows, and but overall it's lighter than the left side of the mountains. And I'm gonna keep doing it on the mid ground. Maybe here I will put later some trees or something, but for now I will keep it like this. All right, let it stay for a little bit on the mid ground. Let's do some of the foreground. All right, black, blue, purple, and black again. Let's do the sky. Too light. That's too light, man. Let's make it a little bit more. Come on. Let's do again. Push and pull. What I try to do is keep the edge, the light edge that I create, but I also want to put something darker next to it so it can look like very contrasty. So I want to emphasize on the top of that mountain. And of course I'm just gonna push up and let the background blend itself. I don't need to go all around to force blending. Now on the right side I want to emphasize a little bit more on the edge. Maybe later I will clear it up again. We will see about that. But for now this is good enough. And it's not oval anymore, it's just edgy. Also, I like how we connected the left mountain with the right mountain in the middle. Well, that's cool. I didn't really intentionally thinking to do that. All right, let's get a black wash and just put in more contrast next to the light parts of our painting. First, I'm gonna start with some of the top and take a little bit more of white gouache and keep going there. Now, I'm gonna fix the right mountain, because for some reason it was like kind of oval. That little pointy thing was oval, so we fixed it. On the right side, I'm just gonna put some white gouache so we can have some shadows behind it. On the foreground, it's gonna be pretty much the same. Put some white gouache next to the yellow one so it can blend, but also it's gonna have a nice contrast with the black paint. Which one is the shadow? Excuse me. Take the palette knife with a white gouache again and try to move it around. Brush is fine, but I want to have a little bit more natural texture. So I'm just going to put a big splash of white gouache and move it around with the brush, with the palette knife. Take it again. And just make maybe one right in the middle, moving some of the paint. Alrighty, and let's see, I will take a black and purple. And I'm gonna put some kind of a more contrast in, maybe not that. Let's try with something else. Let's try with red. Maybe because of the blue sky, something red is gonna be in a totally opposite contrast of it, so it will look nicely. Let me just try. Kind of semi-transparent. Maybe. Maybe more. This looks like a dirt on the foreground, so it's not that rocky anymore. I like that. I think I'm gonna keep that. Let's put a little bit more. Let's cover the midground and the foreground with this thing. A little bit of dirt. And it's communicate pretty well with the reflection from the sun. So maybe a couple more strokes here and down on the right side on the midground. Yes. And yeah, there you go. Watercolor abstract landscape.